something I would say is this is mostly a mistake most of you will make. So something I did is the first year was easy, right? So first year was easy. I was getting good grades, so I took it way too easy going forward. So thereafter, in the second semesters, third semesters, the results went down. This is a normal.
Those who are currently undergraduates, the first year, second years, and those who are waiting to get out of the university and those who are waiting to get to a job, what do you have to say?
Right. The main thing I have to say is like something I constantly see people misunderstand is people focus on development skills. People focus on the practicals. People do lots of projects and do the same kind of projects again and again. There are a lot of projects in under their name, but not necessarily.
Hey there, welcome you all to the friendly conversation with a new acquaintance brought to you as Quality with a Non-Stranger. I'm Dithmeena Egodagamage from Rotaract Club of University of Colombo School of Computing, and this is our second episode of our new podcast. And if you are new to this podcast, let me tell you quickly what we are going to do here. In this podcast, I'm going to be interviewing some very interesting personalities who have graduated from UCSC in the recent years of university history. And we are going to explore their lives, how their lives have been from their university years up until now. And by that, we are trying to motivate our upcoming graduates from the university to reach their goals by following the paths of these personalities. And today, we have a very special personality with us, our non-stranger for today, Mr. Rushan Nanayakkara. Talking about him, he is a very interesting personality who loves to take up challenges, and he currently works at WSO2 as a software engineer, which is a well-known company in the IT industry of Sri Lanka. So, hi Rushan, welcome you to the podcast. So, how are you today?
Doing well.
Alright, so I just gave a brief introduction about yourself to our audience. So, tell us a bit more about yourself.
Right. So I graduated from UCSC in year 2022, and in those years at UCSC, I have worked in multiple areas like club personalities and less on sports, but and academic other activities as well. So lot of things I learned from UCSC, and what I have to say is like generally a great place to learn. And in this podcast we'll further discuss these things. And about me, I'm product of UCSC, so a proud product. And then let's see about myself and everything we will discuss in the further questions. So
that's great to hear. So let me ask you, how is your life these days?
These days a little less stressful compared to the final year of the UCSC. And after you will realize this after getting a job, though it's not as easy as you think, like get the job just it's all over. Not like that. It's a challenge itself. So you will have to face new challenges at the job as you are doing at the university itself. So it's gonna be better, but still it's a challenge. You will have to do that going forward every day.
Of course. So, looking back at your academics years, how would you describe your university days?
Right. The first year is the most memorable one, definitely, because that's where we had all the fun. The batch was together, and there were the sports and fun with the seniors. And most memorable things happened in the first year. For the second year was mostly about the junior batch, what we can do for them and how we are going to plan ahead for our third year and fourth year. So second year was mostly that, and we also had to focus on the academics on the second year mostly. So first year was more free, second year was mostly academic. Third year is basically the internship. From the start of third year, we were planning for the internship, and the internship was said we were doing that. So only 6 months we were at the university. And the fourth year is definitely the research. So you will have to spend a lot of time on that. So about the fourth year, the first year is the most memorable one. I would say the second year is the most important one. The third year is how you build your career. What you develop your career is on this internship period. So, and the fourth year, so for those who are getting selected for the fourth year, is how you develop something further from the career you are starting. So something like a research, if you're going for a PhD, something like that, that's where you build that. And yeah, those are the four years of study.
Alright. So I can see that you have been doing a lot of extracurricular activities in your university days. You have been a member of IEEE Society, and you have been a membership chair of ACM student chapter of UCSC. So what else have you done? Tell us a little bit.
Right. So those are club positions, but like if I say the most important thing we did at the university times was the organization of National Olympiad of Influence. So that is something that was not done in the PSS. That was blocked to us persons dismissal in the last years, because so we restarted that. So that's the most important thing we did. So what we did is we started the National Olympiad program in the school level. We had sessions with each schools and in multiple schools area in Kandy and few areas. And then after we got the students to compete for the final exam, and we selected the team for the Informatic Olympiads International. So there, our team was basically performing not very well in the previous years. So this project was headed by Pastor Vijay from our same batch, and so we managed to get the results better year by year. This is a still ongoing project in UCSC under the ACM. So this is the most important thing I would say. And after that, I was involved in the there's a training program for the IOI student. That is the ISIJ it's the Russian training program. So there I was as the team coach for that program. So I'm in the coaching council of that as well. So those two, I would say, are the most important things. Other than that, I have worked in the UCSC student union. That is mostly for the students itself, not something that is much important to the world. But yeah, I would say those are the most important things I have.
So I can see that you have done a lot of things in the university, and you have gained a lot of experiences in the university, right? Yeah. So moving on to the next question. Your time in university must be like, as in every one of us, filled with both positive and negative things, both sweet and sour memories. So could you share one of your positive memory, that the fondest memory you have, and the most challenging experience you have?
Right. I'll first go with the most challenging one. So this is not exactly a single thing. So one thing I would say is this is mostly a mistake most of you will make. So something I did is the first year was easy, right? So first year was easy. I was getting good grades, so I took it way too easy going forward. So thereafter, in the second semesters, third semesters, the results went down. This is a normal thing we observe in the results. So then after all the semesters, in the final semester, I was at a point I had to perform very well to save my first class. So that semester, that final semester was the most challenging one, because we had to do 2 semesters exams back to back, and I was at a point where I could lose my first class if I made a mistake. So that was the most challenging part in the university. Other than that, everything else was manageable. So the research and everything else was manageable. All the problems, of course, the batch was together. So all the support was there. So there were people, if you are not going behind in the studies, there were people to ask for. So that support was always there. So others was manageable. That is the most challenging part in the UCC years. All right. So what the most fond memory? I would say that's the first year freshers meet. So that's where we had all the fun. So we were few months in the university. Then when I think it was 2 or 3 months when the freshers started. So for months on, it was all fun. So those are the most memorable time in the university, not the second year, not the third year, not the fourth year. That first year, that time is the most memorable. So yeah, that's the most fun memory. And the most challenging one is that facing the final semester exams. Yeah,
So the memories are the only things that remain for
definitely.
in the university. Yeah. So it's common for students to face like challenges that you also have faced challenges that you share with us. So in with academics, the difficulties of personal issues and relationships and breakups, everything, those things happen.
Yeah.
Definitely, and they can affect the academics, the focus and the performance of their studies. So did you encounter any such obstacles, and how did they impact you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, over the years, there are definitely problems at home, problem with friends, and all sort of problems. The thing is, most important thing is, definitely we are going down. If we are facing some problems, our results might go down, we can't focus, those things happen. But the most important thing is how we face those things. We have to definitely be okay with going down once we face a problem. That will definitely happen, and there's no way around it. So the important thing is how fast to recover. If you can keep your head cool when you are faced with a problem, when the world is going down and you still have to get something done, you must be able to keep your head cool. That's the most important thing I have learned in the university years. That's the most important thing I have learned. So if you do that, that problem may cause some damage to your results, but the end result will still be acceptable if you can recover fast. That's the most important thing I can tell you about facing a problem. Definitely problems will come. Face them, go down for some time, that's okay, but recover as soon as possible. That's the
Alright, so that's a great advice from me. And another question is, many of us are asked about our career aspirations from our young age. In our kindergarten, do you want to be a doctor? Who you want to be? We normally say a doctor, engineer, teacher. So did you have a passion for being a software engineer, or it just happened?
it didn't just happen, but I must say this: software engineering is the last job I was going to do.
Right.
That software engineering was not even in my, not in the top three. Definitely, it was in like the last job, because when I was little, when I'm looking at software engineers, those people are always at their looking at their computers, typing something. They didn't even know if they have family around. So software engineering is not something I wanted to do. So the way I got into software engineering is after A levels, I did the Java course. So that also helped a lot in the university years. It should not that also. So after that, I started passion programming. So then I applied for the UCSC, and then after starting, I realized, but I can do this. And this is something I'm interested in. So thereafter, I targeted to be a software engineer, not to DevOps, not data science. Targeted to be a software engineer. So thereafter, I worked for them. So the thing is, we can have many other career aspirations when we are little, but the thing is, we don't know what we are going to do. We don't know what the world is going to be in those times. But right now, I have absolutely no regrets about choosing to be a software engineer. So yeah, that's how I decided to be a software
That's
engineer.
great. So as you mentioned before, in that being a software engineer is kind of stressful. They are always working. So many people believe that it is a job that with a heavy workload, they miss their family. They don't have a personal life. They say. So in your perspective, what would you say? Like, how is your work and personal life balance?
Yeah. So this is a common misconception about software engineering. So I mean, this might have been true in the maybe 5-6 years back, but right now in the industry, I think this is one of the most free jobs to do. Like we are not bound by any working hours. Basically, that's the most free part. So if we have something to do, we can say we are going away from 4 2 hours, go get that done, and then go back to work. Because our job is task based, we have to deliver it on time, It doesn't matter at what time you're doing it. So if you have some family commitment, you can go do it, come back and get the job done. No problem for the company, no problem for you as well. Okay? That's something good about software engineering. So other thing is we can work from home. That's also something very important. So thing is like let's say you are engineer, you are getting let's say you are getting same level of salary. So still you have to wake up early, get dressed, get prepared, get dressed, spend hours on way to work, and then spend hours coming back. Right? All those time, the software engineer can be on the bed sleeping, get up, sit on the computer, and start working on the exact time. Right? So yeah, software engineering is not that. It is stressful, not in the sense like don't have free time or anything, but software engineering is stressful in the sense it's always about problem solving. So how good you are at problem solving will define how stressful you are going to be at job. So if you're okay with problem solving, you can take time and you can think of some solution. So it's not going to be much of a stress. So yeah, that's a common misconception about engineering, and it's not that bad.
Right, so that's a great way to put how a software engineer is life going on. So as now you are working on a well-known company in the IT industry in Sri Lanka, did you plan on going W? So you haven't planned on being software engineer until your A-levels. Like have you planned to be in WSO2 after your university, just after you graduate?
Yeah, just after that, like I mean, I got the job from the career fair. So our career fair had like few months back, like in the November we had the career fair, and then we went to the job at on May. So there was a gap, but thing is, WSO was the company I was targeting at the time of the career fair, because one thing is the work-life balance there and the culture. So this is also very common in software industry. So most companies have a very good culture, but the thing about WSO2 is it's very friendly. It just has a flat hierarchy. Like we are working with we meet the CEO himself, but we can just go and talk to him. That's the level we are attending. So that's something very important when you are working in software industry, because we always need the guidance of seniors. Right? So we should be able to go and talk to any person in the office and get the instructions. So WSO2 is very good in that manner. And also something I noticed is, and also I got the idea from the existing employees is like they treat their employees very well. I can very well confirm that now working there. So yeah, those are the things that motivated me to go to WSO2. And also I must say that other companies are also not bad. I mean, like in software industry, most companies are doing these things, right? So WSO2 is standing out, but if you look at most companies, they are doing what they can for the employees. So depending on their capabilities, that will differ definitely. But yeah, in the company wise, you have to choose what is good for you, for your requirements. So let's say someone might want to go abroad time to time. So there are companies that suit that. But some companies you have to work from home. You don't get the opportunity to go abroad. Right? So those kind of things are there, and also the salary expectations and your career guide. What kind of career you are trying to build, those things are there. So you have to focus on those things when you're selecting a company as well. So what you have to do is like look at the company, what they're offering, that suits your needs, choose them. For me, WSO2 was very good for my all my needs. So I went there. So I actually rejected many companies to go to WSO2. So yeah, pick your company and work for their requirements, and then you will be.
Alright, so that is something that you need to note down when you are planning on your future with your dream job. So, starting a new job, as we are starting something new, we have expectations and goals. So, you began your work recently, and as a trainee software engineer. So, what were your initial expectations, and how have you achieved them now, or are you on your way to achieve them?
Right. So thing is, in the internship period, internship period was totally about learning something. So in the internship periods, I was looking at fancy projects. I was looking at something to get product at the company. So the main thing I was looking at is a project that I can work on, where there are problems. I can get senior support to solve those problems. So I did the internship at Cogen. So that internship period was very good. Internship program. So they have given me a project. So I worked on that project until the end of the internship period. So the most important thing is guidance from the seniors. Take that, improve that skills, and some things you have to get the practical knowledge. So those things are coming from the seniors. Okay? So yeah, get that in the internship period, and in the career. So the goal is to reach the top levels, right? So when you are entering a company, the company is interviewing people and take them in, right? So there, all the people coming in have the development skills. You have to get highlighted in some way to go up from there on, right? So definitely we'll have to perform. Otherwise, no way up, right? But even if you are performing, all the people will perform. Some will perform with little better, but people will perform, right? So there are other skills you have to develop, like leadership skills, communication skills. Those things you have to develop to go up. So right now, my goal is like, while definitely I have to improve my skills as technical skills as well, right? So I'm still a junior developer, it's a software engineer, basically a junior person. So there onwards, I have to develop my skills. First thing is that. Thereafter, I have to focus on developing other technical other than the technical skills. I have developed leadership skills. That means getting involved in things, to do things in the company, and the leadership skills, right? Those things to go up. So those are the targets right now. First to develop technical skills, then getting involved in other things to go up.
Alright, so we also wish that you will complete your goals and expectations in the future. So, being a junior developer, being a software engineer, there are bad things and the good things in your job position. So, to the audience, what do you say are the bad things and the good things in your position?
Right, bad things. It's mostly bad thing is we are not yet very familiar with the industry standards. Right? That is the most challenging task we have to face in the industry when we first go there, right? So and how to overcome that is through seniors advice, right? Like I said before, it's very important when you first join a company. So right now, what's bad is, like, due to the COVID situations, we are working on a hybrid mode, right? Partly at office and partly at home. So the partly working at office is fine, seniors are around, but then also your team members might not be around the day you are playing, right? And when you're working from home, let's take scenario like this: you have problem, right? You have to go ask the senior for their instructions, right? But thing is, when you're junior developer, you might get those kind of questions 5-6 times a day, right? When you are working at the company, if the senior is sitting next to your table, you just take your laptop, ask them, right? But when you're working from home, you have to schedule a meeting, check their calendars. So most of the time, those people don't have any time free. So then you are faced with the challenge to solve those things yourself, right? That is one of the bad side these days, right? And the good side is, in this position, being in a junior position, this is where you shape your career. This is how you get highlighted in a place about something. Let's say you are very good at this particular side of development, right? This particular thing you are very good at. So that's where you're going to focus, develop your career on that side, right? So this is where you shape your career. So if you focus it right and do your work, this level is how you define your entire career. So you have that opportunity in this level. Going forward, that opportunity becomes less and less. Because once you choose a path, let's say you chose to be a DevOps engineer, software engineer, data science engineer, something. Once you choose that path, once you gain the experience, then it's very hard to change the path, right? So that's the good thing about this position, being a junior position. But the downside is that you need senior advisors constantly. Sometimes with these conditions, it's not that easy to get. Right? Of course, if you ask them, you schedule a call, people will respond definitely. That's the normally the software culture. Seniors will definitely respond. But thing is, it's not that easy due to these conditions. It goes to the outside.
Alright, so that's a good explanation for the question I asked. And in your perspective, what do you think the IT field in Sri Lanka, and what do you think with the current situation, what should change in the IT field in Sri Lanka?
Right. In the IT field in Sri Lanka, I think we are in a good position actually, because if we compare our industry with the, let's say, our neighbor India's, right? People can very cheaply get things done in India. Right? But the reason we are getting the jobs is the quality. The Sri Lankan companies maintain that quality. Right? That's the most important thing in our industry. So to change something, I don't think there's much to change in the industry, because we are constantly adapting. So changing is not something constant. Like if we are, let's say, in another job, 8 to 6 job, let's say that will be do this, then that's how you do it for years, right? But in the software industry, we change things. So how we do things this year is not how we do things next year, right? After the year, we analyze and completely change how we do this. The team structures, how what tasks are done, those things we completely change. And also the new technologies are done, right? So those things are integrated, and then everything changes year by year. So there's nothing much to definitely say this has to be changed, because we are definitely changing at the end of the year. We are coming up with a new plan for the next year, right? So yeah, that's the thing. If something has to change, I would say we can develop more things in Sri Lanka. Like we have the capability, we have the developers, so we can get more things done. So if we work on productivity, it will more. We can, in our software industry, will go long.
Alright, so that's a good perspective you have. And this is a question I ask from all the personalities I meet. So if you get a superpower to go back in the past,
Right.
what would you do?
Definitely, I would say myself. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable and pretty happy with the position I'm currently in. I mean, there's nothing much I would change really to change this outcome. So if I can keep this outcome as it is and still change the history, I would go back and change myself to focus more on A-levels on the first time.
Alright.
That would be the thing I would do. But definitely no regrets about however things planned out, and very happy with how I am, where I am today.
Alright, so that is something great to hear. So, fine, we are gradually coming to the end of today's podcast. So, what do you have to say to those who are currently undergraduates, the first year, second years, and those who are waiting to get out of the university and those who are waiting to get to a job? What do you have to say?
Right. The main thing I have to say is like something I constantly see people misunderstand is people focus on development skills. People focus on the practicals. People do lots of projects and do the same kind of projects again and again. There are a lot of projects in under their name, but not necessarily a lot of skills, right? So the thing I have to mention is like, if you are planning to develop a career, something you have to focus is 3 levels of 10 talents, right? You have to develop your communication skills. Definitely, there's no going up that your communication skills in the career, and your leadership skills. Because from the junior level, you can manage at the junior level. From the one there upwards, it's about who can lead the people down, right? So you have to definitely have your leadership skills. So other than that, then you have to have your problem solving skills. Those are the 3 most important skills you must have, right? Not the technical stuff you know, because those things are already there in documentation. When you are working on something new technologies are every day coming out every day, right? So we have any go and read the documentation, get things done. So but you have to have your problem solving skills. So those are the three important areas I would ask someone to work on if you are trying to build a career, right? So firstly, problem solving skills, definitely. Even at the junior level, you have to have problem solving skills. Then leadership skills and communication skills. Those are very important. Focus on those areas and be confident about yourself. When you are facing someone, when you are going to talk to someone, do it confidently. Have those skills, and you will get that confidence definitely. So yeah, that will definitely improve your chances at getting a job. Definitely, you will get a job if you have those two skills, and improve your career as well. If you have those two skills, that's how you build a career.
Alright, so that is a great advice come from a person who have experienced them and a person who is in the field. So as we come to the end of our conversation, I would like to hear your honest thought about this project, the Quality with a Non-Stranger.
Thing is, yeah, I was very happy to hear that this kind of project is happening. Right, something I have noticed in the university is people are not getting engaged with the industry people. So the thing is, at the university time, we also know that we didn't have much understanding about how the industry works. We were always planning on doing projects this and that, but we never had any idea how actually the industry works. So if you have more collaboration like this with the students, so they are here, we are basically sharing our experience, right? So this is very good if you are following these things, and multiple level of people will come. So people with much higher experiences will have much important things to say than me, right? So those things people will get from first year itself, and then you will be able to plan your university life as well as the career from the first year itself, right? That's not the privilege we have nowadays, right? So I think this is very important, and also try to get people, more experienced people as well, so they will have much more important things to say. And yeah, very good program, and keep up. That's what I say.
Thank you so much for that feedback that you gave. So, as we come to the end of the episode, we want to give a big shout out to our awesome guest, Rushan. Thank you for joining us with the Quality with a Non-Stranger, and thank you for being here and sharing your expertise and experiences with us and with our viewers. So, now you are definitely a non-personality, not a non-stranger. So, thank you so much. So, we had a blast chatting with you, and hope that our audience enjoyed our conversation too. So thanks for tuning up for our podcast, brought to you by Rotaract Club of University of Columbus School of Computing. And we can't wait to bring you a more exciting and engaging episodes in the future. So if you enjoyed our show, please leave a like and comment right below, and be sure to come back next week to get to know another new personality. So if you want to know when it is going to happen, you can subscribe to our channel. So we will back very soon. Until then, stay curious.